Hi, welcome back. In this lecture, we'll talk about a very important topic in Indian payroll management, that is gratuity. What is gratuity? Gratuity is actually a sum of amount which is given to you by your employer if you have worked in an organization for 5 or more years. We'll see more details about this. This act was actually made with the name Payment of Gratuity Act 1972. It was made by Government of India. Gratuity shall be payable to an employee on the termination of his employment after he has rendered continuous service for not less than 5 years. As I already told you that gratuity is an amount which is payable to an employee when he leaves the company or he get retired. There are so many conditions on which gratuity is applicable. But the basic thing is that you will get the amount if you have worked not less than 5 years. Okay. So what are the conditions on which you will get the payment? On his superannuation, okay, when he is getting retired, on his retirement or resignation, if he has resigned or if he is getting retired, then he will get the payment, on his death or disablement due to accident or disease, okay, or either he died or he has any disablement due to accident or any disease while working in the organization, then he will get gratuity amount. Disablement means such disablement as incapability is an employee for the work which he was capable of performing before the accident or disease resulting in such disablement. That means that while working, if you met any accident or any disease, okay, due to which you are not able to perform the kind of work which you were able to do earlier in the office, then you are liable to gratuity amount. Okay, so but the condition is you should have worked at least 5 years. Also, a very important point to note that the completion of continuous service for 5 years is not necessary when the termination of the employment is due to death or disablement. Okay. Another point is if the fraction of service beyond completed year of service is 6 months or more, gratuity is paid pro rata for the period. That means if you have worked for 5 years and suppose you have worked for 6 months or more, if it is less than 6 months, after 5 years, if it is less than 6 months, then you will get only up to 5 years. But if it is 6 months or more, then depending on the number of months, you will get the amount. Okay, so like if you have worked for 7 months, you will get 7 amount equivalent to 5 years plus 7 months. Now we'll see here how gratuity is calculated. Gratuity is calculated at the rate of 15 days wage for each completed year of service on the basis of 26 working days in a month on the rate of wages last drawn by the employee. That means that for each completed year of service, 15 days wage an employee will get. And while calculating gratuity, we consider that in a month 26 working days are there. So what we will see that we will apply unitary method. So for 26 working day, what we are getting? We are getting wages. Okay. This is so for 15 days, how much wage we will get? Wage into 15 by 26, right? This is for 1 year. Now suppose he has worked for 6 years, so into 6. So this indicates the number of year of service. Suppose it is 6 years 7 months, so we will multiply by 6 into 7 by 12. Sorry, 6 into it will be 6 7 by 12. right? Fraction method. So like this we calculate the gratuity. It's very simple. If you remember in the real life payslip example, we have seen the gratuity calculation. It was very simple. It's just wages into 15 by 26 for 1 year and into the number of service you have rendered. And you know that this should be more than 5 years. Now, wages means all emoluments which are earned by an employee while on duty or on leave in accordance with the terms and conditions of his employment and which are paid or are payable to him in cash and include dearness allowance but does not include any bonus, commission, IHRA, overtime wages or any other allowance. Right? So basically wages include basic plus DA. All other allowances are not included in the wages. If you remember in the last example which we saw in the real life example, example 2, which you can always refer while reading the text. So in that what we considered, wages we took it as basic pay. Why? Because in that salary slip there was no DA. You can refer it. So a very important point, that maximum 15-month pay is provided for more than 30 years of service. That means if a person has worked for 30 years or more, maximum 15-month pay will be given to you. So it means that for 1 month, for 1 year service, what we get? 15 month ka pay, 15 days pay, that is 15 days ka pay, which means that half month ka pay we get. Okay, for 1 year what we are getting? Half month pay. So for 30 years how much we will get? 30 into half, which will come out to be 15 months pay. Right? So this line is derived from this point. Now next thing is the amount of gratuity payable to an employee under this act shall not exceed 20 lakh rupees. So maximum 20 lakh rupees can be given to a person. Also this 20 lakh will come under exemption in the section 1010. The death cum retirement gratuity received. So in that up to 20 lakh it is not taxable, like you can get rebate under this gratuity. For the said period of 1 year, if the employee during the period of 12 calendar months preceding the date with the reference to which calculation is to be made has actually worked under the employer for not less than 190 days, in case of an employee employed below the ground in a mine or in an establishment which work for less than 6 days in a week, or 240 days in other case. So it simply means that suppose we are calculating gratuity this year, okay, then what we have to see that from today, before today, the 12th month preceding this date, he should have actually come to the office for at least 190 days if he is a mine worker or he is a ground worker in which the working days are less than 6 days, or in another case 240 days for normal workers. At least 240 days he should have come to the office preceding the date on which we are calculating the gratuity. Next is, for the set period of 6 months, if the employee during the period of 6 calendar months preceding the date with reference to which calculation is to be made has actually worked under the employer for not less than 95 days in the case of an employee employed below the ground, or 120 days in another case. Okay, so suppose after 5 years suppose he has worked 5 years 6 months. So for this 6 month, we'll see that we will give him 6 month ka gratuity, but only if he has come to the office for at least 95 days in case of mine worker or ground worker, and for others it is 120 days. Then only he'll get that 6 month ka gratuity. Now, where an employee employed in a seasonal establishment for any period of 1 year or 6 months, he shall be deemed to be in continuous service under the employer for such period if he has actually worked for not less than 75% of the number of days on which the establishment was in operation during such period. So, if he is a seasonal worker, then for 1 year or 6 months, he should have actually come to the office for not less than 75% of the working days. That much he should have actually worked. The employer shall arrange to pay the gratuity within 30 days from the date it became payable to the person to whom the gratuity is payable. So at least so within 30 days, the day he has applied for the gratuity, that means the day he is either resigning or he is getting retired, within 30 days the gratuity has to be given to the person. This was all about gratuity. I hope it got clear. See you in the next section. Bye bye.